Hey folks, welcome back to Biscuits Total War. This is Biscuits giving you another online commentary for Rome Total War. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for checking out the video. This video is going to be a really epic one. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 31k rules. And now initially when I did this battle online, a couple of players to actually play it against asked that we don't actually upload a video. In reflection, after watching this video back a couple of times, I actually think it's a pretty good entertaining battle. Lots of teamwork, lots of things going on, so lots to commentate on. And always let me know what you think of this replay once you've actually watched the video. So 3 versus 3, I'll quickly outline the builds, outline the armies, and then we'll jump straight into the action. So I've brought the Greeks, and I've brought 4 Cretan archers and 16 Spartans. Majority of these Spartans are just gold attack. A handful of them are gold. I think there's about 5 which are gold. Now the next player I've got here is a guy called IoW-Ronin. I know him as Hannibal, not Hannibal Barker, the one that you probably know from the channel, but this is another Hannibal. This guy predominantly plays a lot of CWB. I used to play a bit of 31k with him a while ago, but I sent him a message on Steam, asked him to come online. He said he was a bit rusty when it came to 31k, but you know, regardless if you're rusty or not, it's always good playing with guys you haven't played with in some time. Anyway, because he hasn't played for some time, he's gone for the Julii, a nice easy faction to use, and he's gone for 6 Praetorian Cav, 14 Urbans, really standard build. I'm not quite liking the formation. I'm a bit of a bit anal when it comes to formations and getting your troops up in a nice formation, but usually it means absolutely nothing. It's just me being a grumpy bastard when it comes to watching these. And last but not least, we've got this guy called TURK, who has taken part in many of my previous videos. He's in the Brotherhood clan, and he has brought the Pontus faction, and he has brought 5 Scythe chariots. These Scythe chariots are great until they run amok. Once they run amok, they kill both friend and foe. He's brought 5 of them. 1 chariot archer, maybe he's going to try and do a bit of skirmishing. 2 standard archers, and then the rest bronze shield pikemen, which I believe comes to a total of 12 bronze shield pikemen. So this is going to be the majority of his army of these infantry units. They're not the best, they're not the worst, they can certainly hold their ground. So he's going to be using these to try and hold the enemy whilst he can, and try and support us with his chariots, I imagine. Let's have a look at the enemy. Now the enemy consists of 3 great players. We have got, he was known as Bibu. He's now known as Greek Antiochus. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I probably mispronounced the name. He is bringing the Seleucid faction, and he's in the Greek clan, and the Greek clan are really expert when it comes to using pikes. They tend to use pike factions all the time when it comes to 31k battles, opposed to using the Romans, who arguably could be an easier faction to use. He has brought 12 silver shield pikemen. He's brought 3 standard archers, I believe. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3 standard archers. Yep. 1 general, which usually tends to be his calling card. He likes to bring a general unit. And then he's put 1, 2, 3, 4 Scythe chariots. So it's pretty even build between Pontus and the Seleucids. Let's have a look at this next player. Now this guy is going underneath the name of Nighthawk, but he's better known as SR. And SR has brought 6 archers. He always goes heavy on the archers, so he can do a lot of skirmishing, and I'm sure these archers are going to do a lot of damage against Pontus. He is then gone for 5 Praetorian Cav, and then followed by 1 legendary first cohort to act as a peeler screen, and then the rest Urbans, and I believe he's gone for 8 Urbans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that makes a grand total of 20 units. So really heavy on the archers, not so heavy on the infantry and the Cav. So we'll see how that pans out. And last but not least, we have got the Hannibal, or best known as Hanni. This guy is from England. I played a lot of 31k with him over the years. Great player. He's brought 5 Praetorian Cav, 1 legendary first cohort, 1 archer, and then the rest Urbans. So let's kickstart the replay and see exactly what goes on. Now, opening gambit, I'm going to move my infantry forward to try and go and attack Hanni. I know that my Spartans should be able to go toe to toe against any Romans. I do need to try and keep my archers safe. my archers could be easily taken out because I've got no cav support. Over here we've got Pontus. Now Pontus is going to move their army over here into the centre and really try and keep them away from SR, because SR's got all of its archer fire. Now this archer fire will be absolutely devastating against Pontus, because Pontus has got little to no armour. If you have a quick look at these units here, they have got a shield, but literally, as I always say, this shield is the size of a dinner plate. It's not going to do too much damage, sorry, too much shielding against any arrow fire. And also Pontus, their archers that they hold are these Eastern archers, which are the worst archers in the game in my opinion. They've got low morale, they're not too great, they've got low range when it comes to shooting. So to try and combat that, Pontus really wants to try and get away from SR, and what's going to happen is Pontus is going to go into the centre, and then the Julii are going to face off against the SPQR. So it should be an interesting fight, an interesting combination. But we can see with SR's archers, you know, there's all these dead Pontus units here, and that's from all that really heavy archer fire. So Pontus have hit the centre, Julii are on this flank, and I'm on this far flank. Now, as I said, I pushed my infantry forward to try and push back Hannibal, but by doing that I've left my archers vulnerable, and my archers are now going to be chased down by all of these Praetorian cav which Hanni's got. Now once they've actually attacked my Cretans, they should be able to take them out pretty relatively easy, but it should hopefully buy us a little bit of time. Maybe I can use my archers to try and gun down the backs of these Praetorian cav. Let's get back over here. So in the meantime, SPQR players playing really aggressively against the Julii here, the Red Roman. You can see we've already lost a couple of Julii units, or at least we've lost one Julii unit. We're trying to get our infantry around the side here, but as we move them around the side here, SR's got his infantry and he's throwing a bunch of volleys of peeler straight into the faces of these Julii units, which you can see has done a lot of damage. You can see all these dead Julii units in the thick of it. SR's going to get his guys back into another formation, and as he moves his guys around, the Julii are going to try and mirror this and move their guys around, but every time they move they're getting gunned down by these archers. You can see these archers have got some nice upgrades. They've probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 upgrades. Now that could be gold attack with several experience upgrades, but they're doing a lot of damage, and every time the Julii move, change position, they're getting shot in the sides. And you can see the Julii don't want to keep on tailing their flanks. SR wants the Julii to keep on moving their sides around here, because every time they move around, these archers got some nice shots in their flanks. So the Julii have seen that, they're going to get back into a better formation, so they're actually facing these archers, because once they're facing the archers won't do as much damage. Again, SR's moving his infantry around the side here. He's trying to catch these guys off guard and maybe trying to flank the sides. But one thing that Hannibal has done, he's left these 3 Praetorian cav isolated on their own. You can see he's probably concentrating over here trying to flank my army. Now that's given us great opportunity here for the Julii to come charging in and take out 3 of Hannibal Barca's cav units. So Hannibal is facing Hannibal here, but the great thing is we've already taken out 2 of those Scipii cav units. Yes, one of them may actually come back, but they'll be heavily depleted, and that gives us some great times just to finish off the rest of this Scipii cav units here. In the meantime, Julii have got themselves into a bit of a pickle. You can see they're in a really untidy formation. They're all bunched up in the centre, and this gives SR loads of chance here to throw lots of peeler straight into the guys here, and you can see they're just dropping like flies. SR's got the nice tactical manoeuvre here. He's got his guys surrounding these Julii, and the Julii are in a really poor situation at the moment. Over here, a nice little move what Terrible Turk's done. Terrible Turk has moved his infantry units around the flank here. You can see there's a big gap between SR and the Seleucids, and he's moved his Pontic infantry around the side here, and he's trying to get them around the back here, because once he gets his infantry units around the back, that's going to mean that these guys are going to drop their morale, and it's going to make it easier for us to attack them on a frontal assault. So you can see we're now trying to isolate and surround these guys, doing a really nice move here. A couple of these one of these units now started to rout, and that's because my Spartan unit, I'm trying to attack them on their flank here. Now to try and outmaneuver that, you can see the Seleucids have moved their units back to try and counter that. Over here, my infantry units, I'm trying to use them to push back Hannibal's units here, but I'm taking a lot of damage on the old Pila front. You can see, look, just check out all these dead Spartans here, and that is predominantly from Pila fire from all of these urbans here. So we're trying to push back these urbans here. I want to try and isolate them and try and keep them away from supporting the enemy here. In comes the urbans now. They're going to throw a few volleys of Pila, but more importantly now they're trying to take out these Pontic units which were surrounding and isolating the Seleucids. So really nice move here on Hannibal. He's moving his guys around the side here, and it looks like that Hannibal and Antikidos are doing a nice move here. In the meantime, over here we can see it's Hannibal versus SR at the moment, and it's still 50-50 at the moment. You can see the Seleucids are throwing in a chariot here to try and rout some of the Julii units, and it has worked to an extent. You can see one unit has routed and run away. In comes Hannibal with another charge here, the Julii player, right into these Senate units. It's not going to do too much damage. And you can see, look, these Seleucids, so these Pontic chariots are now being routed. But in comes TURK here. These guys need to drastically get into the thick of it before they get routed by these chariots, and they've just managed to do that just in time. Because of that, that's going to cause a rout. You can see SR's purple legionary first cohort, the one with that little golden eagle on the front, is now routed. That's going to cause a trigger, and that's going to cause a mass rout with all of these Senate units. You can see all of these units are now routed. The Julii need to run in all of the infantry and try and take out this general unit. If they can do that, they can finish off SR. SR's cav has been obliterated. I'm not sure where SR's cav's gone, but Pontus has done their work. Yes, the chariots are all running amok. That means Pontus can't control them. But the good thing about that, we've managed to take out the bulk of SR's infantry and the bulk of SR's cav. So by doing that, it's going to free up all of these Julii units, and the Julii just need to get out of here. They don't want to go toe to toe with these South chariots. There's no point attacking them. They might as well run all of their guys back over here. In the meantime, over on this side of the battle, things are looking pretty damn tight. My units are now being absolutely isolated. Now, one thing that you can tell about these get my words out, these Spartans, they're great at attacking all of these urbans here. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to push through these urbans, and I want to try and keep away from these long pikemen here, because these pikemen will be able to kill me really easily, but these urbans can't kill me. So I'm trying to push through here to try and break through these urbans. In the meantime, the killing machine of the Seleucids is pushing forward, and now they're being assisted by all of these Scipii infantry. Now, from what I can see here, and in comes these Scythe chariots right into the side here. Now, really, these Scythe chariots shouldn't have gone in at that stage. They should have probably gone onto this side and gone for my general. My general has been killed, but all of these Scythe chariots have been impaled upon my Spartans. I was trying to brace for that impact as the charioteers came in here, and you can see all these chariots are dead. But in the meantime, you can see, look, the Julii, sorry, the Scipii and the long shield planks done a lot of damage. You can see all these dead Spartans on the floor here. Pontus has now come in to support me. Pontus is now trying to relieve the pressure upon my Spartans. My Spartans are going to a heroic last stand here. We're just trying to hold off against all of these urbans. Even my general is dead, but we've managed to hold the line there a little bit. Now the Julii, which are over here, are now coming in to assist. They don't need to do anything special. They just need to press in all their weight upon these urban cohorts, and then we can cause a rout. And the general is now dead. Enemy general is now routing, as you can see by that white flag being indicated there, and that's going to now throw the favour back into our side here, because the Scipii, the blue Romans, have lost their general. They've only got a handful of urbans left, but we've got this really heavy load of infantry from the Julii coming in to finally support us. They're just going to push in with all their weight and try and crack the Seleucids here. The Seleucids are in a nice defensive stance. Seleucids have got some nice upgrades, and they should be able to hold back the tidal wave of Julii which are coming, but we've just got well and truly a lot of Urbans here coming into the thick of it. We should be able to crack straight through and splinter the ranks of these Seleucids. Once these ranks have been splintered, what should happen is the Urbans should seep through the gaps here. Once they start to seep through, that's going to drop the morale for these Seleucid shields, silver shield pikemen, and then that will swing the victory towards us. To try and add some salt into the wounds, I'm now going to throw in my Spartans. In comes these Seleucid charioteers. Nice little move here. They've routed a couple of these Julii units, but because there's not enough of these Seleucid charioteers, and there's not enough even of these Seleucid shields, that's going to cause these units to rout. In comes just the overwhelming weight of all these Julii, now plus the attacking power of my Spartans. It's really going to be GG, and you can see, look, through these Urbans being thrown up in the air because of these Scythe chariots. Scythe chariots are awesome attack, you know, they've got some amazing attack stats. They've got really poor defense stats, but you can see they're just literally mowing down, like cutting the grass, these Scythe chariots, these massive scythes, running around. They're really hard to control, but once they get into the thick of it, they do a lot of damage. In comes this Seleucid general. He's probably going to do one heroic little rally here. He's trying to rally his Seleucid brothers. He's trying to rally these Seleucid silver shield pikes. They're doing a good job, mind you. Look, a few more of these Julii units now starting to rout. So it's looking pretty damn tight at this stage. But yet we've got more and more Urbans raining upon the weakened units of these Seleucids. And of course you've got SR of all of his archers. Now what has happened is Terrible Turk is going to use some of his pikemen just to push back these archers, because I'm pretty sure if these archers were had the battlefield to their own, they will be able to do a lot of damage and especially drop the morale of a lot of these Julii units, because a lot of these units are exhausted. But as these units are exhausted, so are also the Seleucid silver shield pikemen. So anyway, last heroic stance here for the general. He's probably going to try and get a couple of last little kills, take some of these Julii units to the underworld. He's going to hold their ground, put on defense stats, maybe defense mode. The general's there, surrounded upon Spartans and Julii, and the general has now been fallen. So that is pretty much it. The Scipii have been taken out, the Blue Romans. The Seleucids have been taken out. Excuse me, the only thing that are left are these Senate units here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to triple speed it for a couple of moments, because at this stage, I'll be absolutely honest, Hannibal, the Blue Roman, wasn't too happy, and I don't think SR was too happy. Usually, these guys don't like to lose, they don't often lose on a regular basis. So unfortunately, when they do lose, it sometimes brings out the worst of them. So dummies were being fired left, right and centre for this stage. We were asking the SR to actually admit defeat, because he's still got a few units hidden around. I think he's actually got a cab unit that's hidden all the way down here. Now, to try and save a bit of time here, so we don't bore you guys to death whilst I just literally wait for this replay to come to an end, I'm going to pause the recording and I'll splice the end of the recording at the end of this. Okay, so bear me 2 moments. It's funny, whilst I'm killing time here, just looking around the battlefield, you can just see all the devastation. You can see, like, where all these Scythe chariots here have all been killed from going straight into my Spartans. You can see just Spartans laying on top of Urbans, laying on top of Julii units, Praetorian Cav here. I feel like a bit of a detective going back over the dead battlefield. You can see exactly what's gone on. You can see my Spartans being killed here, been absolutely munched up by the long shield, silver shield pikemen. And you can see all of these silver shield pikemen being absolutely decimated, where the Pontus units came and surrounded them. You can see over here where Hannibal left all of his cav just kind of sitting there. There's 3 units that got absolutely obliterated by the Julii. And then over here you can just see all the Julii and all the SPQR cav units being absolutely crushed here. So there must have been, you know, an epic battle here. And then over here again we've got more dead Julii, and then we've got more dead Julii here over here. This must have been where all the archer fire from SR came in. and yet we can see more units which have been actually incinerated. Again, that's probably from SR's infantry units. And then we've got even more units over here being killed. These must have been the charioteers that got taken out. So yeah, I feel like a bit of detective work going back around the battlefield to see what's going on here. And that is it.
By the degree of fate, perhaps, but victory.
Exactly. Victory by degree of fate. Literally took the words out of my mouth. Close victory. Again, I thought it was a really awesome replay, if I say so myself. I know it's easy for me to say that coming from the winning team, but close victory. Literally, if the Julii player, Ronin, or otherwise known as Hannibal, hadn't won his battle, I'm pretty damn sure my guys were literally on their knees being surrounded by both Antikidos and Hannibal, or otherwise known as #Don'tPanic. They were absolutely surrounding me, absolutely obliterating me. If they'd taken me out, I'm pretty sure TURK would have been isolated as well, so it could have gone either way. But because IoW-Ronin managed to beat SR or Nighthawk, that really was the clincher. That was a really important battle there, and because TURK threw in that charioteer unit there, he sacrificed his scythe chariot. Because of that, that triggered that mass rout, which I think that was the winning move on that battlefield. If that hadn't happened, I'm pretty sure SR would have beaten Ronin, and if SR had won, then Ronin wouldn't be able to support me, and I would have lost, and it would have been probably a crushing defeat. So it shows you how things can be swung on this. Literally throwing in a chariot at the right time can cause a battle to be won or lost. Anyway folks, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking your time out your day to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy more of these Rome Total War videos, go check out my earlier stuff. The channel is dedicated to Rome Total War goodness. In the meantime, thanks again for your time, and I'll catch you guys hopefully for the next video on Biscuits Total War. Cheers and bye now.